What does this child's game teach us about the history of writing? Something basic, but incredibly inventive.
You learned how to write with symbols that stand for words, logographs, and you saw just how many logographs you need to write well. Logographs for everything under the sun and the moon, including the sun and the moon. But isn't this getting impractical? Do we really need a symbol for every word? Surely the madness can't go on forever. Say hello to this smart rogue who's about to solve your problem with an innocent mistake. His father has been counting sheep, literally, and he just asked his son to record a measly line in his budget, 10 sheep for uncle. The son writes the 10 and the logograph for sheep, but uncle? He pauses and scratches his head. Eager to play with his friends, he writes the character for ankle, 10 sheep, ankle. He hurries away without a second thought, but don't take his invention lightly. If you've ever played fill-in-the-blank or guessing games where you have to sound out picture words, you've seen and used this principle for yourself. But it's not just for quirky puzzles with funny solutions. The name for this is another major moments in the history of writing. The name for this is Rebus. This familiar language game lets you look beyond the meaning of a character and use it simply for its sound. Sun sounds like sun and by extension perhaps soon and sown. Logographs, like the symbol for sun, could already be read as words. Now, with the Rebus principle in your pocket, logographs can also be read as sounds. This isn't just useful for getting ancient uncle his ancient sheep. Once Aztec city planners finished building their stunning capital in the middle of a lake, the Venice of the New World, Tenochtitlán, their scribes needed a way to write its name. They've been using what amounts to basic picture writing. Since Tenochtitlán has a stone, te, and a cactus, nochtli, it's natural to write it with two fairly obvious glyphs. Then these become not just symbols meaning cactus and stone, but symbols for the noises Tenochtitlán, making them just as much Rebus fun as those puzzles you solved as a kid. And now you know the name for those. You also know why there's a cactus on top of a stone in Mexico's flag. It's not just for show. How alike does the sound-alike pronunciation have to be? Which sounds can we chop off? Pit the Egyptians against the Sumerians one more time. Egyptian hieroglyphs cut off the initial consonant, or less often, 2 or 3 consonants from the original word. Sumerians, on the other hand, with their cuneiform, take whole syllables. These two paths don't just add some local flavor. Rebusing out consonants doesn't just impact ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. It leaves a legacy for later spin-offs, the mentality that these are either read as logographs or they stand for consonants. Cuneiform leaves a different legacy. Completely unrelated languages will spend thousands of years borrowing and reborrowing cuneiform to write their own words, but each time the symbols are read as logographs or as syllables. Flexibility is key here. Look at this Egyptian hieroglyph. It can be read as the logograph for mouth, re, or as the consonant, r. This character could be read as the logograph meaning house, or it could stand for the consonant pr, the 2 consonants in the Egyptian word. Conveniently, in Egyptian, the little slashy below lets you know when it's a pure logograph. The Rebus discovery brings up a tension between meaning and sound. Is writing phonetic or semantic? Is it about encoding the meaning of words or encoding speech sounds? The old logographs were fundamentally a meaning writing system. Sure, this sounds like re in Egyptian, but what's crucial is that this is a logograph for the word meaning mouth. Rebus writing takes a big step towards sound writing. This will come to stand for the consonant r, regardless of meaning. It may come as a surprise, but once discovered, sound writing doesn't oust meaning writing. Not at all. Indeed, early writers noticed that phonetic writing brings up a problem you probably missed because of your comfort with sound writing, a problem that meaning writing can solve. Brace yourself, history, because logographs are about to make a comeback.